right, I want to once again welcome you all to Trump Tuesday. Spring is here, and so we have been here in the snow, and now we're going to be here in the rain. We've also been here in the sun, and we know we're going to be here shortly without coats on. So before I introduce my topic, our topic today, I just want to say that this morning I had a chance to visit a citizenship class where there are volunteers who are teaching citizenship to to immigrants who are getting ready to take their citizenship exam, and it's runs the gamut of teaching them a little bit about American history, running flashcards with them, helping them learn to read and write in English. And this is a totally volunteer-driven group. It's not even really an official group. It's a conglomeration of volunteers and an active grandmother who has brought her grandsons in to help tutor as well. It's really an amazing thing to do. And she said that she did it just as an American. They are looking for people to help, and particularly on Wednesday mornings. They're down at the Southwest Community Center. So if any of you have a little time on your hands from 8 to 10 on Wednesday morning, I can tell you this is a great way to put your passion and your belief in our American values into work. If you want more information or who to contact, please come and see me afterwards and I'll give you that information. So we are here today to talk about internet privacy and some of the rules that the Trump administration has put in front of the Congress and have already been voted on. With all of the upheaval that has gone on in Washington, I can tell you that sometimes it's hard to keep track of everything. And one of the things that unfortunately I think has happened between healthcare's, the active, robust discussion on healthcare, which we were successful on beating back a bad healthcare reform and repeal. And thank you to all of you. That would not have happened had you not been active. To the questions about Russia, to the ideas and questions about what happens with the Trump budget, that there are some policies that have been proposed and gone through which have not had as much attention, but are really have a negative impact on the people of our country. And I think that one of those is the idea of internet privacy and what the president's administration has proposed and what has happened. And so I brought some experts here to talk to us about that and what it means. And so I will introduce Young, and he will talk about his background experience and talk in more detail about that. So thank you, Young.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mayor. It's my great pleasure to be here. I am a faculty member over the School of Information Studies at SU. My background is privacy. I've been doing privacy research for the past decade or so. So maybe I will start with a little bit of a background of what we're talking about. So basically what we're dealing with is last October, the Federal Commissions Commission, FCC, this is the government agency that essentially have authority over ISPs, Internet Service Providers, Verizon, Comcast, Time Warner cables, right? So they released a new set of privacy rules, and one of the most notable ones is that the ISPs, they cannot just sell our private internet data, for example, what sites we visit, what we do on the internet, to advertisers to make money, right? But what we saw just happened a few days ago. The Senate and the House voted to essentially undo this set of privacy rules. From a privacy perspective, I think this is really a bad news, not just for privacy researchers, but for all of us. If you think about big companies like Google, Facebook, they are already monitoring, and the advertisement networks, they are already monitoring what we do on the internet and try to provide target advertisements, and also they can potentially do price discrimination. Imagine you're searching for a particular medical condition or a medicine. What if they sell that data to an insurance company? They can charge you more for insurance premium. I mean, this is just one tiny example of how these sort of things could affect us. And if you think about the ISPs, they have even more power. They can literally monitor, intercept all the internet traffic we have from our computer, our device to the internet. They know more than what Google and Facebook knows. So this is very scary. Now, in terms of what we could do from the sort of ordinary citizens perspective, one thing is that some ISPs, they provide an opt-out option. What that means is they have a website where you can go to once you log in. You can say, hey, I don't like this monitoring and selling of my data. Opt me out. But the caveat is that not every ISP provides that. For example, I use Time Warner Cable Internet Services. I couldn't find such an opt-out option. Maybe they have it, but I can't find it. But that's a problem, right? If you can't find it, then how do you use it?
If you can't find it, the
If
rest
I
of
can
us-
find it, then that's a problem. That's one option, right? The second option is if you can visit sites that use, I'm going to use a little bit of a technical term, that's called HTTPS. This is a security protocol that allow these internet traffic to be encrypted. In other words, it's harder for them to know what exactly you do on these sites. However, well, how do you know it's HTTPS? It's when you see this little padlock icon on your browser, you know that you're using this protocol. But the limitation of HTTPS is that because they're ISPs, they can still know what site you visit, even though they might not know what you do there. But just the fact that they know which site you visit can reveal private information, sensitive information, right? But that's another option. The third option is you can use something called VPN. That will allow you to essentially hide what sites you visit, you know. And the last one I would say is if you're ever concerned about your internet privacy being violated, you can report that to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. They have a Bureau of Consumer Protection, which this is a agency I personally have a lot of interaction with. So they really care about how do we protect the normal American citizens' privacy, online privacy. So that's another resource you can look for. And I guess I'll end it here.
Josh, and our next speaker is Josh. So you can tell him your last name and how you got here. Thanks.
Hi, so thank you, Mayor. My name is Josh Wright. I am a senior developer for a company that does encrypted communications. So I write a lot of code for security-related things. So you mentioned a lot of the privacy aspects of this. Something that goes hand in hand with that privacy is security. A lot of the tools that these ISPs can use to track your activity online seriously weakens your security. So you mentioned the HTTPS, the little lock in the corner. All that means is that your browser trusts the server it's connecting to. It's certainly possible for your ISP to put their own server in the middle of that and kind of act as a man in the middle so that your browser talks to their server, which then talks to your bank. And they can see all the traffic in between. So these are the sorts of tools that ISPs can deploy now that will weaken your security and create kind of a single point of failure for, you know, compromising your data. I mentioned VPNs. A VPN is a great way to protect your traffic. Be aware that you are, you still have to trust someone in that case. And so you're moving your trust from the ISP to the VPN.
That's right.
And so just be aware of that and you know, choose carefully if you're looking at VPN services. You know, a good rule of thumb online is if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. You know, whether that's Google or Facebook or things like that, you know, they're either selling access to your eyeballs or they're selling your data to someone. And that's, you know, true for some VPN services as well. You know, they might be providing you a free VPN service and then also using that to sell some information on the other side. Obviously, with these new privacy laws, you know, ISPs get to eat their or have their cake and eat it too. They are both charging you for a product and then monetizing your data on the backside of that. One other service you can use that can help protect your privacy is something called Tor, T-O-R. There's something out there called Tor. You can just download it, and it does a pretty good job of providing you a reasonably secure and private connection. None of the stuff is bulletproof, but it's going to take you a good step in that direction. And then finally, one resource I'd like to let you know, the EFF, or Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF.org, is an organization that is kind of on the forefront of these sorts of issues. And so they are a great place for news related to this. They have a lot of really good explainers on these topics that take these very complex issues and break them down into more simple terms and kind of apply them to your day-to-day life. They are filing lawsuits and actually involved in the fight against these sorts of things. And they also have lots of recommendations for things like VPNs. And so if you have this question of do I trust this VPN or not, the EFF is a pretty good source to get some information about that. So hopefully with those quick resources, that's helpful for you. And I'll start back over there.
All right. Thank you, Young. Thank you, Josh. So what we will do is take the information that they had about resources. We'll put that on our Facebook page so all of you can access that to help protect your privacy now that that has become that much more difficult. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for taking something that is extraordinarily complex and making it digestible for those of us, or maybe I should just say for myself, a layperson, in terms of internet privacy. I again want to thank all of you for coming out today. And how are you? Could you do me a favor, sir? You're right in front of our group. So I want to thank all of you for coming out today. And we will be here next Tuesday at noon, as we always are. And our hope is that there will be sunshine as well. Thank you all. Thank you very much. It was great. And so we'll have Alex get the shuffle put on. Thank you so much. That was terrific.
Awesome.